Good evening, tutor. My name is Lendis Osorio. My summary about the article is to relay show more gun control laws be enacted. Armed violence is a global problem that is affecting the most fundamental right of every human being, the right to life. Gun violence can affect anyone. The presence of firearms generates a lot of fear in people. This can have long-term psychological consequences at the individual and community levels. Today, we see how acts of violence with firearms affect education and health. This can be evidenced in the high numbers of shooting on others acts of armed violence that are causing the death of many peoples, and the law of control of the possession of weapons by laws that protect citizen rights, as in the case the United States. There are almost 40,000 peoples every year. In the case in the Colombia, the measures are restrictive, although there are laws that allow the carrying of weapons, but with a government permit. It is important to know that the carrying of weapons in political meetings and elections is prohibited. People are also prohibited from carrying weapons of a certain calibers. To continue with the answers, the questions, how often do gun awareness prevent crimes? Firearms awareness have no guarantee of prevent crimes because they are exposed to various situations in the context in which the events occurs. Other question, how often are people killed by their own guns? This is very frequent in house where there are children under 14 years old and the weapons are not locked and are generally loaded and ready to use. The third question is, do you think every person should possess a gun? In my personal opinion, I believe that no one should use weapons, but all countries have their policies to protect the fundamental rights of individuals. So the use should only be for the competent authorities. The fourth question say, do go control laws deter crime? Will go control laws prevent criminals from obtaining guns or breaking laws? I think no, because we still see how criminals or terrorists commit crimes with weapons for private use. This is the case of Colombia, where crimes have been committed with weapons that shall not be used despite the restrictions. On the fifth question, does more gun control lead to fewer suicides? I think so, because in the United States, it is normal to carry weapons at how, but if we're more controlled, the risk will be less. The sixth question say, do we need new regulations about gun possession in Colombia? I think it's necessary to continue with regulations for the classification and regulation of the carrying of weapons. Also for important export and making by the government. This allows people to obtain permits for less lethal weapons. And the seventh question, in an assault situation to you or to a member of your family, would you like to have a gun for self-defense? I don't really like firms. We all have by natural to defend ourselves. When we feel attacked, perhaps it would be an extreme measure to have to use a firearms. To conclude, in my opinion, the restrictive measures of the possession of weapons in Colombia seem good to prevent accidents and all kinds of crimes. In Colombia, the arms monopoly is in the hands of the state, in accordance with provisions of the political constitution, so that the public force guarantees life. There are exceptional for each persons, for particular persons. Okay, and no more. Thank you.